Okay, so welcome everyone. Tonight we're going to talk about Pellowah healing technique, which is a wonderful modality that I learned about 20 years ago from my spiritual teacher, and it literally changed my life. So we'll talk about the benefits of Pellowah, what it actually is. We'll talk about the difference between Pellowah and Reiki and how I came about with Pellowah, what I've done with my clients. I'll share a couple of testimonies and how it's changed my whole life. So you're in the right place. If you want to connect to your higher self, and especially if you've been struggling or suffering with any emotional or physical pain, or maybe you just want clarity on your direction, and want more balance and freedom and happiness so you can thrive in your life. So I met Kachina. Now, this lady here, this is my teacher, and it's actually 20 years this year. It was 2004 when I went and had a reading with her, and I'd just come out of a dysfunctional relationship and was thinking about getting back together with them. And so Katrina introduced me to Pellowah back then, and luckily, and she just started teaching it because it was brand new on the planet. She channeled it direct from Spirit, and Spirit said, you have to start teaching this because the consciousness of the people on the planet are now ready for this healing modality. Now, going back 20 years ago, when you started talking about, shifting consciousness, expanding awareness, connecting all 12 strands of DNA, people really put you in the woo-woo box. So this was my challenge. I was so passionate because my life just took off. And I've been studying a lot of different modalities. Now, I already had my business before I met Kachina, and I was working with clients doing body work and energy work and healing because I have done Reiki since 99. But what it did for all the other modalities that I already was using is it enhanced it and enhanced, just really up the ante on everything. My intuition, the messages that came through when I was working with clients, my work evolved more into somatic healing and really a deep emotional trauma work, as well as releasing any blocks. I could just basically use X-ray vision and feel where the block was and visualize it dissolving. So
wow.
that's the work that I still do today. But the Pellowah is what really put me on this path that just really shifted my consciousness to another level. Because my personal story, yes, I've had a lot of trauma growing up, and I've dealt with a lot of different events and healed myself of cancer and autoimmune, and been in the pit with depression and suicide. And so I've been there, but healed my body naturally. So I really know the power of the mind, and and how it's up to us to heal our own body. It's not about looking outside of ourselves, and really taking charge of our health and our well-being, and taking responsibility, but looking at the root cause. And that's the area that I work with my clients. But it's about seeing things from a different perspective, because we all have a story. We've all had traumatic events, and some people more traumatic than others. But it's about seeing it from a different perspective and elevating your energy vibration so that you can live in peace, love, and joy, and be the joyful person, regardless of this happened and this happened, because things happen for you, not to you. So through my journey, and like I've healed myself of cancer at the age of 21, and it was from my spiritual teacher back then that really put me on this path. So and that teacher is no longer in physical form, and then it was a blessing to meet Kachina around the same time as his passing. And so anyway, I will move on because it's not all about me, but I do have lots of other stories that it's really impacted. So over the years, now why is this not working? Click. Okay, so over the years, I've met a lot of different celebrities, and it doesn't matter how successful or who they are. Really, everyone's got their own issues that they're trying to heal, and everyone's on their own journey, and everyone's here to learn and grow as a soul. So yes, they're wonderful people, but they're humans just like us. And then I've had some wonderful teachers over the years. This is just a handful of them. There's many that I haven't even listed here, but and some of them that you may recognize. And they've helped me on this journey to really, well, it's like, yeah, we're in resonance because everything they're still talking about today is what I believe and what I also incorporate into all my teachings and sharing with my clients and in my workshops. So what is Pellowah? It's an enlightenment modality that shifts consciousness. So this is a modality that the healing part is secondary. And so if there is something physically going on in the physical body, i.e. cancer, well, then what the Pellowah will do is give the person the insights, the understanding why they created the cancer, and to understand the reason and more of the insights to help them to reverse and transform the energy, because we're all energy beings. Any illness or disease that's occurring in the body is just energy that is blocked, that is causing an imbalance in the body. So we can transmute that energy very quickly. But the other thing is that the Pellowah energy helps you to see things from a different perspective and a different outlook on your life. So your whole life changes, because instead of saying, oh, this happened to me, or this story, I mean, a lot of people, talk about their trauma stories or things that have happened, but seeing it from, oh my God, this is so amazing, and I'm so blessed and grateful that that occurred, because look at the blessing that's come from that, and seeing the beauty that's in the world. And the more we can see the beauty in the world, it uplifts our energy vibration, and then that will help to lift the energy on the planet. So this is also about you tapping into the mass consciousness. So this is about really, the more work you can do internally on your inner self, well, that'll lift your energy vibration. And I'm not sure, I can't remember if I've got the scale of consciousness in this presentation of the emotions, but I'll just see, otherwise I'll mention it a bit later. But this is about you taking charge of yourself, your life, and you when you set your goals and intentions, it's like this, you are tapped in, you're plugged in, you just have this inner knowing because you're connected to source. When this is about you connecting to your higher self and knowing that you are not alone. Every thought, every word that you say or speak or think about, you're putting that energy out there, and you're talking directly to the universe or God or spirit or whatever word resonates with you. And this is the consciousness that I'm talking about. And we're all here to upgrade our conscious human operating system. And luckily, in the last couple of years, that's what's been happening on the whole planet. And a huge awakening has occurred for many, many humans, which is why so many people are now ready to learn more spiritual tools and really look at their personal and spiritual growth and really delve deep and take responsibility for what's going on internally, because any healing, any inner work is an inside job, and then on the outside your life gets better. So this is an enlightenment modality that shifts your consciousness, and then everything else in the outside world improves and gets better because you're seeing life through a different lens, and life really is beautiful. Any questions on that?
Yeah, I've heard enough. When do we sign up? If that's the all that you were going to say in this presentation, I'm like, I'm in. That just sounds perfect.
Well,
it's be patient and listen to the rest of it.
Okay, it's next month. Just put your calendar.
Oh, cool! I can't wait. I'm so excited already.
24th and 25th of February.
I'm just looking at my calendar.
So the other thing now, I know, Steph, you've done Reiki, and so have I. So and I'm also a Reiki master, so I teach Reiki. But when I first started doing the Pellowah, and so many people says, well, what's the difference, between Reiki and Pellowah? And I know Katrina used to say Pellowah is 1,000 times stronger, but then some Reiki people that they get quite upset with that. So I am more diplomatic and say it's a different energy. Reiki's more earth-based. Pellowah is more esoteric or more cosmic, and it is a completely different energy vibration and more powerful, because what the Pellowah is, and I know it's called healing, but it's really about shifting this, because and this was the aha for me. I used to have like a waiting list of clients, and they'd come with pain in their body, and it's like, this hurts and this hurts and this, and I've got this and this and this. And each time they'd walk out feeling fantastic, and then the next time they'd come, they'd recreated it. And that's when I started looking at more of the pattern of what was going on in their psyche. And then when I learned the Pellowah, the light bulb went off for me, because I realized, you can't fix the physical body with the mind that created it. So if you consciousness, well, then the physical body will take care of itself. See how easy that is? And that's the power that we all have. And I've proved it over and over and over with my own body, of how powerful we all are, and how we can heal just like that. We can transmute the energy. And that's something that I teach my clients, to really step into their own power, and use it for your advantage to heal your body and transform your life. So the other thing it does is it helps you to make clear choices and decisions, especially when there's addictions. So when you're at a crossroads, I'll just put it like that, you're at a crossroads, and so this is decision point. You get to choose, well, and let's just use health as an example, or an addiction. do I eat that chocolate cake and eat the, and drink that bottle of Coke or and whatever it is? I think Coke is quite poisonous to the body. So let's use Coke and let's use the sugar. And you're at a choice point. Do I eat that, or do I choose to have an apple instead, or make a different choice? And that's the point. Now, if you start eating the chocolate cake, well, then it's a cycle. And this is the cycle once you start, and believe me, I've had an eating disorder, so I know how the cycle works. And once you start the cycle, well, you have to finish the cycle. But every single day we get to make a choice at that crossroads. This is what Pellowah does. It helps you to make better choices and decisions, not just for your health, but for every area in your life and everything that you do in your life. It's like, how does that feel? Well, if I do this, I get this sick feeling in my stomach and I feel this heaviness and, I'm getting the headache, or whatever the feeling is for you. Or if I do this, that feels lighter. And that's where you can determine the difference between making your decisions. What feels good for you, and trusting that. And this is a modality that will help you to increase your intuition, because you're tapped in more and connected to your higher self. So does that make sense?
Yep.
Beautiful. And the other thing that I love about it, and I'm sure we've all gone and had different healings with other practitioners, Pellowah is 100% pure energy direct from source. It does not get channeled through the practitioners. So it is 100% pure energy between the person laying on the table and spirit. So if you can imagine a glass cylinder direct from source energy, and just, and I'll just move back, those sports stadiums when they have those big strobe lights and you can see the bright light for miles and miles. Imagine that coming from the sky down on the person on the table, and it's going over the table, and that's direct from source. The practitioner receives none of it. So this is the difference. Now, I've had a lot of different healings over the years, and everyone will say, and this is out, or I saw this, or this is wrong, or I fixed this. I mean, I love that word fixing, because no one's broken and no one needs fixing. Let me just, plus, there's another healing modality, and I won't say the name, but one of my college lecturers was teaching it. And it was just after I did the Pellowah, and she comes along and says, I've just cleaned your chromosomes because they were dirty and toxic. And I went, what? I said, I've just connected all 12 strands of DNA, and how can these chromosomes be, dirty? And she went, don't worry, I do this as a Christmas gift for all my clients. That means she's projecting out that all her clients have got dirty, toxic chromosomes, and she has to come in as the savior and the hero and clean them all. Can you see that? So this is where the ego comes in. Now, the difference with Pellowah, there's no ego. If the ego comes in, it will stop. It's 100% pure energy direct from source. You're not doing the healing. Spirit is directing you where to put your hands and where to stand and where to move. It is simple, yet so powerful. And that's the difference between Pellowah and every other healing modality out there, because there's no talking, there's no touching, there's no music, there's no incense, there's no interruptions, and there's no stories to tell. And whatever the experience of the person on the table, it's their experience. All you're doing is holding space.
Love that. Oh my God. That is that is honestly like someone holding space. That's what I feel like someone who's helping me, like a kinesiologist, is they're holding space for me to get better or move something, to transmute something. Yeah, I love that. Love that.
Beautiful. So, are you all aware of the different layers of the auric field around our body?
No.
Yeah, mostly.
So we've got several different layers, and I mean there is more than 7 layers, but the 7th layer is the spiritual layer. Then it comes down to the emotional layer, and then the physical layer. So what happens is information comes from source, from the universe, and it's warning you or telling you, you know, make this new choice, make a change, do this, and you keep ignoring those messages. And if you keep ignoring it, then it will snowball and build up energy, and then it'll hit the emotional layer. And this is where you can wake up feeling quite emotional and having a bad hair day and just feel drained, and it's like, oh, you know, I'm feeling like I just want to cry, or all these emotions are coming up, but you keep squashing it down and ignoring that feeling, and then the energy will continue. And this is where, you know, a lot of people ignore those feelings or ignore those messages, and then it'll manifest somewhere in the physical body. And this is where the body is the barometer of the soul, because wherever it manifests in the body is that emotion of the energy, the metaphysical reason on what's going on for the person, and that's the energy. Does that make sense?
It does. Can someone be stuck in a level? Because I feel like I'm in the emotional, mental. Is
Yeah.
that what happens?
Yes, and this is why it's really important for you to come into alignment with your soul, with your higher self, and bring all those. Do you meditate right now, Alana?
No, that's the thing. I don't put any time aside for myself. I'm just in constant emotional overwhelm, and I'm definitely inside my head. It's terrible.
Yeah. So I'd recommend start meditating to quiet that chatter in your head, so you can start listening to your heart, listening to your soul, and listening to those messages, because you have all the answers within you.
Yeah.
And then it's about receiving and, well, allowing yourself to receive.
Yeah.
But and also you can ask for healing direct from source too. And that's what Reiki is. It's like, oh, I've got a sore shoulder. Okay, just put my hand there, and with my intention, I'm going to direct energy to the shoulder. And it's like I do it all the time. Not that I've got a sore, but if something hurts, it's like, oh, okay, and I'll just put a finger on myself, drain the energy, and bang, off I go again. The same with the toothache. You know, it's like, oh, okay, there's energy in this tooth. Okay, I'm going to drain it. Well, that feels better. Now I can just get on with what I'm meant to be doing.
Yeah.
Not talking about, and calling 15 friends and it's like, oh, I've got a sore tooth and oh no, I can't come because I've got to call the dentist. Da, 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 da. This is where I really encourage people, take back your own power. You can heal your own body, and there's so many things happening. You are so much more than your physical body. You're here as a soul, and your soul is unlimited, and it's multidimensional, and your soul's only visiting this skin bag for such a short little time on for this journey, and then it'll come back into another skin bag and another one and another one. So your whole purpose is to learn what is connecting with your soul and what are you to learn and grow through this process. Okay, let me continue. And so the word Pellowah is an angelic word for a radical shift in consciousness, because that's exactly what it does. And it connects all 12 strands of DNA ready for activation, which I'll explain in a minute. Plus, it unblocks and realigns all the meridians in your body. So that also, as you know, with acupuncture, and we've got the meridians, which are those invisible lines going through our body, which the acupuncture and acupressure points are along. That's what the chi energy flows along. If there's any energy blocks, that's where it's like, oh, that hurts or that hurts, and you can press all these points on your body, and if it hurts, well, it's just blocked energy. And it's also, the Pellowah is built on the positive, so you don't have to go through a big cathartic breakdown in order to have a breakthrough. And so you're building on you're not building on like the old frameworks, so it's no trauma. So there's always growth and change, but in a positive way. So it's like your past is your past. Don't give it any energy. It's and this is where the whole letting go and the forgiveness process comes in. It's about, well, okay, I've gone through that in my life. Now, who do I choose to be now? And step up and be that person and keep moving forward. And because carrying all the past baggage with you just brings your energy down.
Right. It's heavy.
Very
I'm over it. I'm over it.
well.
Yeah.
Now's the time to let it all go and surrender and release. So you can also do absent healing, and also on pets and plants. Obviously, they don't need to be laying down for an hour. They only need like 5 minutes and they're good. And the other beautiful thing is that, especially if you're around a lot of people where they love drama, you get less involved in other people's lives. Oh, well, nowadays it's all the drama on social media and all the different platforms and all this drama, and then there's all the news and stuff and the chaos and everything. You become less involved in all that chaos out there because you're just focused on what you're here to do, and that's to connect with your soul and your soul's mission and purpose, and to keep lifting up the energy vibration on the planet. So the actual healing itself, it gets stronger over time. But the energy changes you, and the new you becomes normal. So the Pellowah activates you, so you generate or create this light from within, and that this is what we're all here, is to be more light. So many years ago, because I used to travel to all the regional towns, all around Australia. And I was up in Townsville and I was teaching a workshop there. And this is about 2006. And there was a lady that came to the workshop. And then the next time I went, because any students who want to get another attunement, the next time I'm in the town, they can come and get another attunement, because it's like so much quicker than having the healing. And so there was a lady that came again, and the guy who owned the venue, he said, wow, this lady has changed so much. And because she was happy and jovial and laughing, and we're joking around, and she was just fun. And he commented and said how much she'd changed. And I said, well, in what way? And he said, well, anytime she'd come to a workshop, she wouldn't talk to anybody. She definitely wouldn't be hugging everyone. And straight after the workshop, she would leave straight away and not talk to anyone. Well, the version I saw from the workshop I did, and then 2 months later, I mean, she was dancing around, she was hugging, she was laughing, she was like the life of the party. And I asked her, have you noticed a change since the Pellowah workshop? And she went, oh yeah. She said, because it's so subtle. She said she hadn't, actually noticed, but now it was like she could see just in a couple of months how much happier and joyful she was. And she was planning holidays and traveling, whereas before she'd never even go on a weekend adventure away. Next, she was planning, going to Egypt and doing all these amazing tours. So this is how it changes expands your whole consciousness, and you just see life through a whole different lens, because your whole world just expands, and it is fun, because that's what we're all here for. True?
Yeah, true.
So can I ask Linda quickly?
Yep.
Like, what's the sort of, how do I put this in a question? Like, what's the time frame for that? Is in like what initially happens and what kind of keeps happening to create that inside of yourself? Like,
I'm not sure if I understand the question.
yeah.
So
So you have the Pellowah weekend, and then what sort of starts happening in your life to get to that stage where you're like completely uplifted and
so subtle changes. Okay, we've got, so before we started, both the mums on the call were, saying how tired and exhausted and overwhelmed they are because they got kids, and kids are very demanding, and sometimes, it's like mums are overwhelmed and you get triggered, and it's like, I'm not allowed to kill them, but I'm frustrated right now, so it's those little subtle things that all of a sudden it's like, oh, I no longer feel triggered. I feel completely calm. I feel neutral. And the kids are not bothering me, and they're just being kids, but I'm feeling at peace within myself. Well, for your situation, Steph, with the people at work and the ones that, just near, it will just be white noise, and you won't even be listening to it or taking it in. So all that chitter chatter of low vibration talk, it's like you won't even be absorbing it into your ears, because it's like, I'm just in a Zen space.
It's funny that you mentioned the people at work, because Emma, my colleague, she was going off and whinging about some ex-employer of hers. And as she's like bitching on about it, she just spills the milk everywhere. And it immediately shuts her up. And she was quite funny because she's like, that's what I get for calling her this and that, And it
Yeah.
was just funny. It was like literally crying over spilt milk, like something that didn't even matter anymore, like some shit with like, oh, this woman's never paid people super. And it didn't even really affect her. She was just bitching on that she's that kind of person and just this spilt milk everywhere. And she just had to spend the next 10 minutes like kind of cursing herself and cleaning it up. And it's funny because like even the work I've done with you so far, I feel has already lifted my energy, that it's already deflecting shit like that, It's like, this is your spilt milk shit, you deal with it.
But isn't it interesting how the universe works? It's like, don't cry over spilt milk. Oh,
Literally.
they literally, she spills the milk.
Funny.
And that's a beautiful metaphor.
Right? Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So yeah, more of that, please. That sounds amazing.
No worries. Well, I'm seeing you on Friday, so bring your shopping list.
I've got a new one. It's Pellowah healing.
So if anyone would like a healing, I can do it in person or distance, and it's only 150, and it takes an hour. And basically what it looks like is this. It's a off the body, hands, no touching, no talking, no music, no incense. The person lays on the table, and then my hands will either be out here or it'll move, and I just move around the table, keeping a safe distance to not touch the table or touch the person, because that will feel like an electric shock, and you just move around in silence, and you can have your eyes open or closed. So go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask, is it different to the body work that you do, or did you bring elements of, do you bring elements of Pellowah into that, or is that totally different?
When I did the body work, it was elements of Reiki. I can't mix Pellowah, because Pellowah is a completely different healing, and it's the body healing. But when I'm doing the body work, well, I bring in my other intuitive energy modalities.
Okay, so I haven't experienced it yet.
So no. So yeah, there's no, it's non-physical, there's no judgment, no ego. So then after a healing, you can ask the person, how are you feeling? And a lot of people go, well, what did you see? Or what, as a practitioner, you don't see anything. You're not getting any information. It's between source and the person on the table. So that's the difference between Pellowah and Reiki, because when you're doing Reiki, it's like, yes, the Reiki practitioner will see visuals, but the thing is, some of those, like the story I told you earlier, you got to really use your discernment, because some of those stories may not be related to you. That could be what they're processing. So this is where a lot of practitioners really need to make sure they do their own inner work and their own housekeeping and maintenance, because the healing energy is coming down through the crown chakra, down through their filters, and whatever they're going through during on the day, and then out through their hands. So if they're having a bad hair day and going through some emotional stuff, or had a fight with their spouse or whatever earlier that day, and then you're having a healing, it's like, well, guess what? You could get contaminated energy. This is the difference between Pellowah and Reiki. Pellowah is 100% pure 24/7. Does that make sense? Because there's a lot of practitioners on the planet today that are all still trying to deal with their own trauma.
Yeah.
And
I've picked it up before by walking into a room and laying on the table. I picked it up because she didn't cleanse the room. I'm very sensitive like that. That's what I mean. I want to be in control of that. I'm in control of my healing. I'm not going to pick up
Yeah.
other people's stuff.
Good. So a good awareness. So the Reiki is more earth-based, and you can give Reiki to yourself.
Mm.
Okay, and that's channeled through, but that's the difference. So Reiki is really focused on the symbols, you know, chakra and Heiseki and those symbols. And whereas Pellowah, yes, it has symbols, and I'll show them to you in a minute. But it's the attunements that are really powerful, because an attunement, a level 1 attunement is like having 10 healings on the table. A level 2 attunement is 100 healings on the table. See the difference? So that's why when I teach workshops, the students come and get another level 2 attunement each time, because it's like this quick upgrade. Now, I just saw Katrina on Sunday and got a level 3 attunement from her, because that's my way of keep upgrading and lifting my consciousness up. So I book in regularly for a level 3, because that's 1,000 healings on the table.
So can I not give myself Pellowah?
No, no one can.
Oh.
It's about swapping with other students. But what you can do,
But I'm in control.
yes, there's the symbols that you learn in the workshop, that's for your personal use.
Yeah.
And then also you can always get another attunement as your upgrade, you know, and keep doing the work. Plus you can swap with other students to get another healing. And also from the attunement, your life will just start changing to the better, to more positive, because things will start shifting within you, and then you'll start doing things from differently.
So you always need someone to hold space for you, is that correct? With the Pellowah healing.
Well, the practitioner holds space for you.
Yes. Yeah.
During an actual healing.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you can meditate on certain symbols, for example, and that's a kind of a way of activating it for yourself.
Yes, so all you need to do is look at the symbol, or you can just trace it with your finger and then just close your eyes and just feel what it's doing. Oh, okay. I'm feeling a little bit, depleted or exhausted. I'm going to bring a lightning bolt of energy into my auric field while keeping me protected. Boom. And do that symbol.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you're working through, like, as you were saying, if you're working through, it could be anything like that heavy density of stuff, or you're trying to discern, should I do this or should I do that? How do I process this? That's where it comes in as well.
Yeah, so you'll get the ahas and the clarity.
Just by itself, you don't even need to meditate.
Well, I still recommend meditating, but the answers and the clarity and it'll just be bang. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, of course, yes, and it'll just be so much quicker.
Yeah, like natural.
Yeah. It's like, and someone will be talking and you'll just tune in, and it's like, well, that doesn't feel right. So you can actually then use your discernment on how much of whatever they're saying is true and correct. So using your discernment, and then you can also discern how much is coming from ego and how much is coming from their true self. Because remember, there's a lot of people that's walking around with a lot of trauma, a lot of wounds, and their behavior reflects on that, and that's what comes out of their mouth. There's a lot of wounded souls, and have no judgment, just send them love. And sometimes you don't need to say anything at all, just hold space, send them love.
Mm.
So I'm going to play this quick little snip of one of the students after the workshop.
Stage 1 and 2 with Linda Ben. It was an enthusiastic weekend. We learned a lot about energy transfer and enlightenment. I got a lot of good energy out of it over the weekend. I slept better last night. I woke up this morning and I could actually read the texts on my phone on an email without having to use glasses. So that was a big wake up for me. Today, in the stage 2, I had the spiritual self come down into me. I had a lot of lights going on the inside of my eyes, but the main thing that I took away with it is that it has shown me more direction, given me a better vision of what my future is and where I'm supposed to go and what I'm actually supposed to do on this earth. So I'm going to be actually able to use that now to move forward in life and have a better direction of which way I need to go. Thank you very much.
Okay, so let me just jump. Oh, I think did I just lose one or no? No, sorry, Mark, we don't want to listen to you again. I've got another video one, but I've got lots of different written testimonies because I've been teaching since 2004, and I actually took it over to the US in 2005, and I'm still the only practitioner to teach. The only teacher to teach Pellowah healing in the US. So when I was there in December last year, I taught a workshop there. And yeah, there's no other teachers in the US, whereas one of my students from that class, she wants to really get the word out there because there's a lot of people in America that could benefit from the Pellowah. So I've got lots of different stories from different people where it's just transformed their life and where they've made massive changes, all for turning their whole life around. So, and being the hero, and that's what it's all about, is stepping into your light and being the magnificent being that you are. So the difference between a healing and an attunement is a healing you lay on the table for an hour, whereas an attunement, it takes about 5 minutes. And it's faster and it's stronger and it takes less time.
Hi.
So
it's the
this
day after doing my Pellowah level 1 training. I went home last night pretty exhausted, but I had a great sleep. So I woke up today feeling great. I was just telling Linda a story. I was putting on my moisturizing cream this morning and I had this sudden urge to just love myself. It was just this touch that I'd never been able to give myself before. And I ended up standing for about 5 minutes, massaging my head and my face and my neck. And it was like this energy, this love feeling was just pouring out of my hands into myself. And I honestly believe in that 5 minutes, I give myself more love than I have in 35 years. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty great and highly recommend it to anyone else that wants to feel the same. Thank you, Linda.
Okay, any questions so far? No?
No.
So Pellowah was brought through as a healing technique, but as a tool for enlightenment. So, I'll just go back. So the healing capacities is a byproduct of the shift in consciousness that occurs. Does that make sense? It's like it's about shifting the consciousness, and then the physical body will take care of itself. So it's not about focusing on, oh, I have to fix and do, fix this cancer or whatever is going on. It's like what the Pellowah will do is help you to understand why you created the cancer in the first place. And this goes with any disease or any illness or any ailment that's happening in the body. So, and this is why choose Pellowah. Like, we all came here as a soul in these physical bodies to fulfill our mission, but on a much higher level. And every being on this earth decided they wanted to be here at this particular time. Look, we're witnessing on the planet right now. I mean, we all signed up for this. So this is where it's like, don't complain and, whinge about, what's happening. It's like we chose to be here on this playground that we call Earth. And it's such a beautiful earth that we have. We're surrounded with so much beauty. Look at all the beautiful flowers around us. And we have beautiful birds and trees and butterflies and things like that. Focus on the beauty and all the things that lift your energy up instead of all the other crap that's distracting you, because it's all the distractions that actually bring your energy down. Your job here is to keep the energy light, keep your energy vibrated out to lift up the energy on the planet. Okay, I'll get off my bandwagon. So, yeah.
No, don't get off your bandwagon. I love it. I love passion.
When
More passion, more energy.
Sometimes when I'm doing a podcast, it's like, oh, tone it down, I'm getting a little bit too enthusiastic.
Don't dim your light. Do not dim your light at all.
So, but you came here to contribute to the universe, like the bigger picture. You came as a soul to make an impact on this earth. And this is what a lot of humans, have forgotten. It's like, as a soul, as this magnificent, powerful being, you came here as this soul on the earth. Now, I know earth is quite a dense energy, so you really had to numb yourself out, but some people have numbed themselves out to the point where it's like they're unconscious now. And this is your opportunity to really step up and step into your power, reconnect with the higher being that you were when you first decided to come down here on earth. Because it was a conscious choice. You wanted to come and play on this playground, knowing there was going to be some challenges, there was going to be, some yucky stuff, some hurdles to jump through, but you went, oh, this is going to be such an exciting ride, and I'm ready, let's go. Who wants to come with me? So, you invited all these other souls to come and play with you on this playground, and you allocated, well, can you show me how to love myself, and that means you have to be really nasty to me and do something horrible and betray me, and so these are all the agreements and contracts that we made. And so now you actually get to fulfill your mission and complete the task that originally you made before you came here. Let me just quickly share this.
This is Pellowah Day 1 workshop yesterday, and I decided that I had a little bit of a project at home that I could work on, which was my plant that was slowly dying, and I thought, well, I'm going to use the Pellowah on it, and what I found was as soon as I put my hands near the plant, I could just feel the energy immediately start drawing into the plant, and saw this amazing sparks within my hands to the tree and back and forth, and it just felt amazing. And I spent about 10 minutes on the plant, and yeah, I think it's amazing workshop, definitely worthwhile.
And how's the plant feeling now?
Well,
What did you notice
I-
after the healing?
I did notice it actually looked a bit greener this morning. I'm going to keep working on it. I worked on it again this morning for another 5 or 10 minutes, and it's definitely looking like it's looking like it's really starting to work. I can feel the I could see the aura coming off the plant. It's amazing.
Awesome, thank you.
Huh?
Beautiful.
I-
Okay. So,
I know that's true, by the way. When I used to do Kundalini, the plants in my house were like insanely vibrant.
mhm,
Yeah, because I was raising obviously my vibration and
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, I definitely believe that.
beautiful. Yeah. It's at the energy that we emit is very powerful.
Mm.
And it's the same with sound, the sound vibration, the frequency travels. So now the level 2 attunement is 100 times stronger than level 1 attunement. And so the level 2 workshop actually is all about you. So the level 1 attunement actually gives you the attunement so you can do a healing on other people. And in the workshop, you give and receive a healing plus receive the attunement. And then the level 2 workshop is the learning all the symbols, and you get a healing and give a healing, and then the level 2 attunement, and that connects you to your higher self. And plus there's a lot of other exercises that we go throughout the workshop. So we touch on the chakras, but it's not a chakra workshop, but we do include the chakras, we include the Merkaba, but the Merkaba, everyone has a Merkaba, and it's your light body, which you reside in, and we go through what that means. Yeah, here's another couple of testimonies. Does anyone know Marcy Shermoff from The Secret? No.
Oh, I probably would know her.
So anyway, so I met her when I lived in California in 2010, and I gave her a healing. Lovely lady. So anyway, the level 1 attunement is 10 times more than an actual table healing. Okay, so it's like 10 healings on the table. Then the level 2 is 10 times stronger than level 1. So that's like 100 healings. And then level 3 is 10 times more powerful than a level 2, and 100 times more powerful than level 1. So do you see where the attunements are really powerful? And this is where and once you get the attunement, you've got that for life. It's like that is locked in. You've got that energy for life. And then you automatically feel this shift and this lift in consciousness for you. You feel yourself go up to another level, and it just expands. So in the level 2, I'll just quickly show you what the symbols look like. Again, you will just go, oh, it doesn't mean anything, because no, unless you're attuned to the Pellowah, it has no meaning. It doesn't even have any feeling or just looks like squiggles on the paper, but this is just to show you what the symbols look like. And each one has a specific purpose. And that's what we do in the workshop. So a little bit about the workshop. There is 3 levels. I teach level 1 and 2, and Kachina's the only one that teaches level 3. That's the teacher training. But some people choose to do all 3 levels without even becoming a practitioner or a teacher, because it's just the attunements that's going to change your life. So the next workshop that I'm doing is the end of February, and there's an early bird always a month before, which is $333 per level, and it goes all day on the Saturday and Sunday. Normal price is $400 per level. So if you want to do both, it's because some people don't like the 666. I actually like the numbers, but the it's $665 for both level 1 and 2. Or after, if you want to wait a few weeks, the price goes up to $380, and then just before the workshop it's $400. So that's what's happening. You get a manual each day, you get certificates. I provide morning tea and afternoon tea. I normally do the workshops here at East Brisbane. Unless there's 10 people, then I'll be moving to another venue. But there's more information on my website about the Pellowah training, and I can send you that link. But what questions do you have?
Oh, just quickly about that. Is it so on day 1, is it a level 1 attunement, and day 2 a level 2 attunement, so they're like a day apart?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't wait a few months and do like level 2 training or attunement now?
But if people do, it's like, oh no, I'm not waiting. It's like
It's not like overwhelming.
a high. And so like when I was in the US, one of the students went, no, I might wait for the, and then it's like, well, yeah, I don't know when I'm coming back next. So yeah, it's like do them both together. And then yeah, you can always get another attunement whenever well, you girls are local. Well, Alison, you're in, yeah, just down the road.
Yeah, by plane, just down the road.
Just down the road, yeah. So Alison, do you have any questions at all?
No, none at all.
Cool. And Alana, what about you?
No, I definitely do have questions, just because I don't know how it would work for me, because I just want to get out of my head and out of the shit, and I don't know how I could do that, without having to sit, lay on a table each time. Yeah, because I really don't have it. I don't have a village, and I don't have a circle. Even yesterday, something really crappy happened, and I had to ring up someone to download, and it's like, I don't want that anymore.
Well, this is where the attunements will actually help you to take charge of your own life, and you'll get your own insights and your own information and your own downloads to come through, because it'll just be like, oh, well, this crappy thing happened, and what do I do in this situation? And it's like, oh, thanks. Because you've got all your helpers in spirit all talking to you on a daily basis. So it's just a matter of listening and allowing yourself to receive those messages.
Forgot to put nuggets in for Zaria. Could you throw a few in there? Would you?
Yeah.
So, but that's where the attunement is, just so that just like on like I just explained, on the day one, you're going to be getting a healing on the table plus an attunement. So that's like 10 healings. And then on day 2, you get another healing plus the attunement. So that's like 100 healings. So the whole weekend is a really high energy vibration weekend. So you're going to walk away on cloud 9 just going, whoa, now I can start living my life and not getting caught up in all the drama and all the negative stuff that's happening around me.
Yeah.
And your family and your kids will notice the difference as well in you.
Yeah.
You got this, Alana.
Yeah. I know I do. Yeah, I know.
So
It's all
Alana, if you want to put your number in the chat, what we can do is have a chat over the phone. Steph, do you have questions?
No, I just want to hear more cool stories about what happens to people after they get attuned. But
Yeah, I'd like to sit here more too.
Yeah.
I've got to love you all and leave you. My children are demanding food. So I didn't realize it was so late.
Fed them. Okay.
No.
Thank you so much for joining. Let me just
No,